Good evening, everybody, and welcome to today, where we will be focusing on yin, mostly against the wall. And this is one of my favorite yin practices. It has lots and lots of benefits, which I'll be walking you through during the class. And of course, it's for me one of the best practices that one can do after a long day, either standing or sitting a lot during the day at the desk. And of course, it helps you to relax and definitely helps you to sleep better. So most of the class I'm going to be with my legs up the wall. If at any stage you feel that, you feel a little bit dizzy or you don't feel really good, then just bring your legs down and relax and perhaps do the pose in another way. But otherwise, I'll be mostly with my back to you. So, of course, if you have any question, then just unmute yourself and ask me. Okay, so let's get started. We're going to get started by bringing yourself towards the wall with your legs up the wall. And this is going to be the beginning of the class. So adjust yourself just to make sure, I'm just moving myself around, just to make sure that your back is flat against the mat. Your pelvis shouldn't be lifted, so you shouldn't feel that your bum is off the ground basically, or off the mat. So just really adjust yourself. Also check in with your legs. Your legs can be bent if that's more accessible for you. They don't have to be straight. If it's comfortable for you, of course, you can place the heels against the wall so that your feet are basically flat. But it depends on you, it depends what's comfortable for you. Of course, placing a pillow under your head, if you need that, that's more comfortable. And we're going to start off today with a focus on the breathing, which we're going to continue throughout the class. And the basic reason for this is that when we are in the position with the legs up the wall, this actually affects the circulation, the blood circulation. It also helps to slow down your system. So the system, which we call the parasympathetic system, which they also call the rest and digest system, that starts to kick in. And so you start to breathe slower, and that also helps with your digestion, as you can imagine, rest and digest, and helping you to really relax. Okay, so we're going to, first of all, place your hands on your abdomen. And from here, just simply connecting, just noticing the movement of your abdomen. Just noticing the body slowly relaxing. Perhaps noticing how having your legs up the wall actually affects your body. Maybe you can feel something in your legs, something in your head. And now let's do 3 rounds together. So before we start exhaling completely, And then inhaling for 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale, 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue a couple more rounds at your own pace. Noticing as you inhale, abdomen expanding. As you exhale, it releases. Relax your arms, relax your shoulders, feel your back melting in to the mat. Of course, in this position, there's a nice stretch to the hamstrings, a gentle stretch to the hamstrings. And also having the legs above the heart helps with the blood circulation. So when we're sitting or standing, there's a lot of pressure on the veins because of sorry, as I was saying, because of gravity, there is a the gravity on the legs and the veins, the pressure there creates swelling. And so when we have the legs up the wall, the blood circulation changes, and that fluid gets taken to the heart, and it's easier to get rid of from there. Okay, so from here we're going to move gently into the butterfly. So if you remember the butterfly, simply bringing the feet together against the wall. And here, just being mindful that because of gravity, and I suppose it depends on your wall as well, you could feel that your feet will come right down, and perhaps you'll get quite an intense stretch. So what I would do is I would suggest that if you find that, just put your hands underneath your knees to make sure that there's not too much of a stretch, or simply just, keep your feet together so your feet don't slide down too much. And you may have to shift yourself closer to the wall. Of course, it depends on you and how comfortable you feel. But as I mentioned before, make sure that your bum isn't lifting off the mat, because we don't want that to happen, because then it's because we want to ensure that the lower back is relaxed. That's the reason why we do this pose. And if your bum is lifting, then the lower back muscles are not relaxed, because they have to help to lift you up. So that's why it's important just to make sure that your lower back is on the ground, is on the mat. You can feel the sacrum, the bone at the end of your backbone, the spinal column is pressing down into the mat. And then from here, just simply relaxing the legs. And basically, in this position, of course, we can get a really deep stretch into the groin area. And so if you are a person that's looking for flexibility in that area, and you find it is not very accessible if you're leaning forward from a seated position, then this will definitely help. So once we found the optimal position, let's just take those 3 deep breaths, exhaling completely first, and then inhaling 1, exhaling. Inhaling 2, exhaling. Inhaling 3, exhaling. So just allow your body to absorb the effects of this breathing. If you need to, or if you'd like to continue a couple more rounds. So of course the other benefit of having the knees or the legs against the wall, apart from allowing you to get a greater stretch, is also that our muscles can also become tired and sore when we sit or stand a lot. So the muscles can actually become fatigued. And when we are doing this type of stretching, it can be a great relief to the muscles. So as well as the blood circulation and the lymphatic fluid that we talked about some time ago, having your legs like this actually helps to rejuvenate, helps you to feel some relief to legs which perhaps are sore or aching, which often happens when we stand or sit a lot. It's so difficult when you're sitting to remember how important it is to try and stand up at least once every half hour. We are engaged in our job, in a project we are doing, and we don't have time. Okay, so now very slowly lift those legs up, and we're moving into the rebound. So just staying with your legs up the wall, and we'll stay here for a minute, just noticing the effects on your body. Okay, so from here, open your legs so that they are wider than your hips. And then slowly place your feet against the wall and then bring them down. So we are effectively going into a straddle. And here as well, depending on your wall, you may want to place your hands on your hip, on your knees, so they don't come down too much. If you don't do that, what will start to happen is that your feet will move further and further down. Once again, make sure that your bum is not lifting. If your bum is lifting, then push yourself away from the wall a little bit, just to make sure that you're getting a nice stretch. So the stretch you're going to feel will be, of course, more intense in the groin area, but you also could possibly start to notice the quadriceps. You're going to start to notice some type of effect in the quadriceps. So basically this is the upside down version of the straddle, of the squat. I don't know why I said the straddle, of the squat. So if you remember the squat, in the squat, we are working the ankles a lot. So here there's a great relief here because we don't need to work the ankles too hard here. But we are also opening the hips. And then, of course, you could feel that your quadriceps are working a little bit. So whatever feels comfortable for you, just relaxing into it. Make sure your arms and your shoulders are relaxed. And then let's just connect to those 3 deep breaths. So inhale, 1, exhale, inhale 2, exhale, inhale 3, exhale. Now continue at your own pace with your hands on your abdomen if that's comfortable, if not on your knees, just to make sure that you get a stretch which is optimal for your body, but it is not too much of a strain. You don't feel that the stretch becomes too intense. Also, of course, with this, having your legs up the wall, basically having your legs above your head. I mean, that's above your head, above your heart. That is the optimal position. So, you know, even if you are somewhere where you can't have your legs up the wall, if you're in the office or something, you could just grab a chair and put your legs on the chair. Lie on the floor, put your legs on the chair. This also helps if you have low blood pressure. It simply improves that blood circulation. And of course, with this position, as with the one previously, we're also working on gently stretching muscles in the pelvis, and then also muscles around in the legs, in the groin area and the quads. Okay, so from here, very slowly bringing your legs up. And let's relax here in the rebound position. Okay, so from here, if you'd like to We're going to take a break from having the legs up the wall. We're still going to be at the wall. So if you bring your knees into your chest and then bring your knees to the side, just so you can roll into a seated position. Okay, so from here we're going to work a little bit on the shoulders and the front of the chest. The important thing here is that we're going to be working on. We're only going to be working for 3 minutes on each side. It's quite an intense stretch, but what I'd like you to do is to be aware of the fact that you can control the stretch that you have. So what we're looking for is a stretch across the front of the chest and also this area of the arm. So the inside area of your arm. So that's where we're going to have the stretch. And when we do that stretch, what happens is that this relaxes the muscles between the shoulder blades. And that's where we often get quite a lot of cramping, because we are sitting like this all the time. In this position, we are really opening them up. So I'm going to show you with my right arm. So I come to the mat, I come to the wall. Well, it's the door in my case. And I stretch out my arm, moving away the flowers. Stretch out my arm. And then from here, I can bring my body close to the wall or not. I have to check and feel how that feels in this part of my body. If I find that this is too much or it's enough, I can just stay there. If I don't feel a stretch, I turn my body away from the wall. Yeah, I can simply stay. I can put my head against the wall. I can relax my head against the wall. If that's not comfortable, bring your head away and basically look for that stretch. Yeah. So remember, each of you is different. Each of you has your own issues with your shoulder, the compression of your bone. So just find what is the most accessible for you. So you just bring your arm behind you and simply staying like this, simply staying wherever is comfortable. Some people like to lean their head against the wall. This could create more compression. It could give you a greater stretch. If you don't like that, you come away a little bit. So the important thing here is to feel the stretch. You will feel it. It's quite intense. Stay with it. And just notice that, or just be aware that the only situation where you should come out of it is, of course, if you feel pain, and also if you start to feel, which sometimes happens to some of my students, they start to feel like their fingers are going to sleep. So that happens because we have compression of the nerve. If that's happening to you, of course, please adjust. So simply adjust by bringing your body away from the wall, or just bring your arm down. So remembering with yin that we don't move beyond our edge. We don't force the body. We just do what is within the limits of the body. So we get a good stretch, which is not detrimental to the body. Okay, so we have about 50 seconds to go. If you feel the need to move down, to move away from the wall to reduce the pressure, then please do so. Okay, so from there, very slowly bring your arm down. Oh! And now this is where you can really feel the rebound. So just keep your hand or your arm sort of next to you, wherever feels good to relax. Should feel quite a stretch along the whole area of the inner part of your arm and also the pectoral muscles, the muscles in front of your chest. So that's a nice opening there. Of course, if you have any injury or you've hurt your shoulder or you have a problem with the compression of bones in your shoulder, then just be very aware of that when you go into the other side. Okay, so let's go now to the other side. And same thing. So the arm comes up and just pressing into it. Pressing your head against the wall if that's comfortable, or away from the wall if that's too much pressure. And if you find that there's a lot of tension there, the other thing you could also do is just connect to your breath. The breathing, the deep breathing, remember, helps to relax, helps to release tension from the body. You should be able to notice a nice stretching as well along the back. Going deep into the back muscles. Slowly bring that arm down. Let's just relax there. Just releasing that arm there. Just enjoying this rebound moment. Okay, so we're going to move now to a pose that most of you like against the wall, which is the reclining shoelace. So that will be working a little bit of the glute muscles. So just watch as I just indicate just a few things to be aware of when we do this against the wall. So of course, the most important thing would be just to position yourself first of all, and if you need to move yourself away, then just feel free to move yourself away. So I'm going to start off quite close. So starting with the right knee, with the right the left leg up, and then the right ankle is coming over. So I'm just starting here at the moment just to show you that if I position myself here and it feels too much in my knee or in my glute area, I simply move my foot up. Because remember, with the shoelace position, we don't want to compromise the knee. And if we bring the foot down and we feel it's too much in the groin area, too much in the glute area, or specifically in the knee, we can move the foot around. Remember, we can always do that. Or we can move this foot, the left foot. We can also move that around. So play around a little bit before we start, because we're going to be here for 5 minutes. If in this position you don't really feel very much, you're not feeling the stretch, remember you can of course then bring that foot off the wall, relax it, and then hold on to your shin or underneath your leg. So remember, that's another option. So just experimenting with those different options, and we're going to be here for 5 minutes. So remember, particularly with this position, of course we're looking for that nice stretch in the glute muscles, but we're also interested in not compromising the knee. Because of course, one of the typical things we do when we are trying to get into a position that perhaps the structure of our bones does not provide for, we can't actually feel that in our hip. We can't feel that our hip bone isn't comfortable with that. And so the hip bone deflects into the knee. The strain is taken by the knee, and that's why we start to feel that the knee is painful. It's a deflected situation. And so that is very important to bear in mind in whatever type of exercise you're doing. If you feel pain in your knee, if you're trying to do some position, then quite often it's because it's being deflected from your hip. Because there's compression of your femur and your hip bone, and that's leading to it being felt in the knee. And of course, as we all know, the knee is one of the most fragile of the joints, the knee and the shoulder. So you have to be very conscious of it. Okay, so let's focus on the breathing here as we are close to the wall. So let's do those 3 deep breaths. Inhaling 1. Exhaling. Inhaling 2. Exhaling. Inhaling 3. Exhaling. Again, relax your shoulders, relax your arms, relax your neck as well. So now from here, move your left foot up the wall, uncross your right foot, and bring them both up the wall into the legs up the wall, the caterpillar pose with the legs up the wall. And here just noticing these different feelings now. The warmth in different parts of your leg. Remember, here we are stretching out this tension. We're working with the blood circulation. We're working with moving around the lymph, the lymphatic fluid. And we just, as we're doing that, we are helping to relieve this tension, this soreness that we have within the cellular level as well as the muscular level. And of course the fluid, different fluids in the body. Okay, so now we can move on to the other leg. So now bringing the right foot down and crossing the left ankle over the right knee. Once again, adjusting your foot. Remember, we are asymmetrical, so you may find your right foot has to be higher than your left foot, or perhaps it will be lower. Just spend a few seconds finding what works for your body. And then just allowing gravity to do its work. If you find gravity is working too hard, then you can, of course, bring your foot up or bring yourself a little bit closer to the wall. The important thing here being, of course, to feel that stretch in the glute muscles, in the left area, the left hip area, outside of your left hip. And now connecting to the breathing. Exhaling completely. And then inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Inhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Exhale. 1, 2, 3, 4. Continue a couple more rounds there. At your own pace. Okay, so now really slowly lifting your right foot, uncrossing your left foot and bringing both legs up and relaxing here. Okay, so once again we have a bit of an alternative. So bring your knees to your chest, roll onto your side and then sit up for a moment. And from here I'm going to show you the Sphinx pose against the wall. So have a look, try it. And of course, if you find it too intense, then just simply move away from the wall and do it away from the wall. Of course, when I show you, you'll see that there is more compression on the lumbar spine, but more compression on the lumbar spine isn't negative always. It's actually good to work on lifting ourselves into what we call an extension, because a lot of the day when we are sitting, we are in flexion, and extension means we are moving more towards our natural spinal curve. So it's a bit compensating all the moving forward throughout the day. So let me just show you how it goes. So what I do is I come on my hands and knees and I bring my knees right to the wall and I lie down on my stomach. Okay, so that's the first thing. And then from here you can, if that feels okay for you, you can just simply lie there, because of course you are doing a bit of work with the back, even in that position. If that feels comfortable, you can start to bring your elbows underneath your shoulders. And from here, just check into how that feels. And if that feels okay, then stay there. If it doesn't feel okay, if it doesn't feel comfortable, if the minute you get into it, it doesn't feel comfortable, then please move out. Also, some of my students find if they have their feet against the wall, they start to get cramps in their feet. So if that happens, then just point your toes, but it depends on your body. It depends how that feels for you. So just play around with that. Pointed feet or feet against the wall, toes against the wall, whatever works for you. And then let's just hang out here and noticing how this position, how it affects your lumbar spine. Because of course with your knees bent, there is a little bit more compression. And I'm sure you'll also notice, perhaps you'll notice a little bit more the movement of your abdomen. And then of course with all poses where we are lying on our stomach, we are compressing. So we're compressing the internal organs, particularly the digestive organs. So connect there with your breath. And let's just do 3 those deep breaths. Inhaling. Exhale. Inhale. Exhale. Inhale. And exhale. And now really slowly just bring yourself down, relaxing your head on your hands. If you feel the need to move away from the wall, do so now, so you can relax the lumbar spine completely. Otherwise, just be here relax the arms, relax the shoulders. Okay, so from here we're going to move into twists, and the twists we're actually also going to go and do against the wall. So let me see if I can show you how we're going to do that. If of course you don't find this comfortable, you're welcome to do the twists not against the wall. But doing the twists against the wall is quite interesting because it gives us a different feeling. I find it gives you a different stretch, really. Okay, so let me show you how we do that. So coming to the wall once again, as if we're gonna, go and bring the legs up the wall, and then this time, instead of doing that, bring the feet. Bring the knees towards the chest, open the legs, and then slide the feet along the wall. So you can see that my feet are touching the wall, they're pushing the wall, and then just relax. So my feet are quite high, my knees are quite high up, my feet are touching the wall, and then just relax there. We're just going to be here for 3 minutes, just so you can get a feel of how this is for you. It's a new experience. And of course, the advantage of having the feet against the wall is you don't have to worry about, your feet being suspended or anything like that, because your feet are against the wall. If you need to, of course, put a block underneath your feet, and then just turning your head the opposite direction. And relax your arms and relax your shoulders. And just enjoy this stretch. You got quite a lot of stretch across the front of your chest. You're twisting your torso. So that's a nice wringing out of the internal organs. So let's just try for 3 deep breaths here. So inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling. Okay, so from here, let's move slowly out. Just bring your legs to the center, hug your legs, your knees into your chest. And just stay here for half a minute before we move to the other side. Okay, so let's move to the other side now. Once again, stretching out the arms and then sliding your feet slowly down the wall into that lovely twist. Arms stretched out and looking the other way and just feeling how wonderful that feels for your shoulders, for your back, and let's just relax there. Okay, last connection to the breath with a deep inhaling, exhale, inhale, exhale. Inhale and exhale. And just enjoy how this twist is releasing tension in your spinal column. Just let everything go. Relax. Release. Now very slowly, bringing your knees to the center, give yourself a big hug. And now for the final relaxation, you can either do that with your legs up the wall, and just relaxing there for 5 minutes. Or if you prefer to be seated because you're tired of all this legs up the wall, you're welcome to do that. I think I'm going to take a break from legs up the wall. But whatever feels good for you. So let's just start this final relaxation with 3 deep breaths. So inhaling, exhaling, inhaling, exhaling, and last time inhaling, and exhaling. And then just allowing your body to gently relax, absorbing all the stretches and movements that we've been making with the body. To ensure that it is more balanced. After all this sitting, this specifically lack of movement is so essential, not just for our muscles, but for our bones, for our blood, for our lymphatic fluid, for the tiny cells, the connective tissue. Basically, our body needs movement. And this deep stretching with the legs up against the wall really helps to move that around a little bit, bringing relief. And also this effect on the nervous system, just helping to allow you to unwind, relieving not only tension in your body, but also in your mind. Relax and let go. So now slowly start to move your feet. Move your legs a little bit. Shake them around. Stretch your legs up, point your toes. And then bend your knees into your chest. And when you have given yourself a nice hug, then allow your knees to fall to one side. And when you're ready, just come to a seated position. Okay, so thank you very much for joining me today. I hope you sleep well tonight after all that long, deep breathing and lots of stretching, and hopefully your legs feel nice and relaxed and relieved after all that movement and stretching. So take care, have a wonderful weekend, and I'll see you on Sunday if we get down from the mountain. Good night.